A number of events over the last few weeks have me thinking about the power that the devil has over us and ways we can fight against it. And so in this episode, even with a slightly crackly voice, which I apologize for, I'd like to talk a little bit about that. Stay tuned. Hello, friends. Pastor Tim Westermeyer here, Senior Pastor of St. Philip the Deacon in the western suburbs of Minneapolis. You will forgive my voice today. I actually feel okay, but yesterday I got something caught in my throat, and I'm struggling a little bit to power through speaking, so I hope it's not too distracting. Anyway, I'm taping this on a day when a group from the church is actually walking around praying in the different parts of the church, the rooms of the church, the hallways, the offices of the church. And that got me thinking about a few things. One, it got me thinking about a number of conversations I have had recently with members or staff here at the church about issues where it has seemed clear that, as Paul says in Ephesians 6, that we are wrestling not against flesh and blood, but against principalities, against powers, against the rulers of the darkness of this world, against spiritual wickedness in high places. I'm reading that again. That's Ephesians 6, verse 12. And if that sounds a little, weird or spooky, I'm also reminded of my Easter sermon, where I talked, and we'll maybe link to that. We broadcast it last week on this channel, but I talked in that sermon, if you listen to it, about God's power, right, and the power of the resurrection. And that suggests that power is designed to overcome some other competing power. Now, as Christians, I want to be very clear, we don't believe the power of the devil is equal and opposite to God's power. We do believe that God is ultimately powerful, and the devil, to the degree the devil tries to screw things up for us, it's a pale, insignificant amount of power compared to God's. However, and this is sort of where I want to go with this, in our fallen state, and I think I've talked about this before, the devil, one of whose names is the father of lies, is very good at convincing us of two primary lies. One is that there's something wrong with us, and two is that we are all alone. And so I want to suggest today, and again, this is informed both by the fact that there are people walking around praying in our physical plant today, but also from some of these conversations I've had just in the last week. I want to just lift up the fact that I do believe the devil continues to tell us lies in this life, and how powerful it can be for us in pushing back against those lies to do two things. One is to share what you're thinking about or struggling with someone close to you, with a friend who will actually receive that and listen to you. That's the first thing. Share it. Talk about it. Don't keep it in. Again, one of the lies is, I'm all alone. So if we don't share what we're worrying about, that tends to reinforce itself. So that's the first thing, share it. And the second thing is to pray about it, either yourself, or if you are sharing this with a friend, whatever it is, to invite that friend to share or to pray for you. And in addition to the handful of conversations I've had with members and staff and so forth in the last week, I also am acutely aware in our own community that a recent graduate of our local big high school took his own life by suicide just a few days ago. And so that, questions of mental health are real. As a church, we need to be aware of that. We need to be realistic about it. And again, I think I'm not a psychiatrist or a counselor, I'm a pastor, but I think part of the way we fight against those spiritual forces of darkness is in community, again, sharing what we're feeling with someone that we love and know and trust, and then praying about it. So I don't know where that lands in terms of your own life, but again, that was sort of on my heart today, given some of what's been going on here. And as always, if you have questions about that, I would be more than happy to respond via email, or if you have a question or a comment that would be appropriate for more people to read about or to know about, please include that in the comments below. And a little less seriously, maybe, feel free to pray for my voice so that next week when we're taping, it doesn't sound quite so gravelly. Again, I feel pretty good. I'm acutely aware that I do not sound particularly good. But I'd welcome your prayers. And as always, until next time, be well, stay in touch, and God bless.